Start together.
I look at Yonatan.
I agree.
Okay.
I do my best. Do you wanna try it once? Let's start. So we're more aware.
Yeah.
Very good. But I think you were still a little later than Yonatan.
I was okay.
Nobody's fault.
Yeah.
I think coordination between you two is the most important thing.
Okay.
Why don't you breathe both?
Okay.
Okay. Let's try it.
Yeah. Okay, sorry.
No, that was much better.
Okay.
I think really
Okay.
good. Sometimes also I think what helps is not to make such a big arm movement.
Okay.
Or maybe even a slower movement, because everybody has their different speed, and so even at the beginning, if you can think that the movement is measured in your minds, I think that helps a lot. Let's try it.
You mean like the movement of our arms and our breath is in tempo?
Exactly. Let me see. So I would breathe like in a quarter note, I guess.
Okay.
And then the attack can be fast, but the approach, like the lifting, I think not too hectic, and then when you lower your hands, then it can be you, Kate. You will have a fast attack. You maybe more.
Okay.
Deeper sound.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Because La Belle Excentrique, what does that actually mean? The title.
Oh, eccentric beauty.
Yeah, like La Belle, like the beautiful one, but eccentric one. And all the titles of all the movements are actually so funny. Like French Lunar March. And then there's another one that I like. Kissed in the Eye. It's called, like, I forget the exact title, but Walls of the Mysterious Kiss Within the Eye. It's just doesn't make any sense. It's
very
funny.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, very kind of simplistic, but very like eccentric.
Yeah.
So I think you can. I think you have like a gentle accompaniment, but what makes your accompaniment is interesting is the different harmonies. But you can be so eccentric.
Okay.
Should I also have the same
yes.
character to this scene?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. And then,
Yeah.
alright. So should we breathe both, like we did here in the beginning?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
And you as a conductor.
Exactly.
What instrument do you imagine here? Who could play these sustained notes? What do you think?
Two bassoons,
Oh yeah.
doubling at the octave.
Okay. Yeah, I like that. What would the other instruments be? Who would play this?
Cellist or xylophone, glockenspiel.
Yeah, something very shiny.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yes.
Yeah. I like your articulation. It was very shiny.
Okay,
So
okay.
yeah. Let's try that again. So
Okay.
does that work for you both? Breathing and
Yeah.
upbeat?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I think
How
it's
would
much
you
more
conduct
together.
it actually? Yeah.
Breathe the
I like
quarter
it.
note and
Yeah.
just place it.
I think now you're too soft.
Okay. I know I like creeped in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Soft is maybe too simplistic of a term, but more shiny, like a different instrument.
Yeah. Okay.
You were playing, I don't know, I'm going to say something wrong, but maybe, I don't know, some string instrument, but I want something shiny.
Okay.
Okay.
Like, yeah,
Okay.
woodwind or something.
Okay.
Very good.
Yeah, that's hard.
So I think this all sounds very pleasant, very nice, but it starts getting a bit interesting here, where you both play the E flat,
Yeah.
and then the harmony upwards, and then this is so eccentric in a way, the C sharp to the D all the time, and then so I would make a point out of it to not support it nicely with the pedal, but really boom, you know.
This secco,
Yeah,
this
the
C
second,
natural. Okay.
exactly. And you can play much more with dynamics, I think, again.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I would think in terms of different orchestration, I think that helps. Although you have forte here, Yonatan, and Kate, you have it too, I think it has to have different layers.
Yeah. Between
then-
like this forte.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is like warm, gentle in a way, and this is oops, sorry.
Okay.
All good.
And this is not like good piano playing. You can even
Yeah.
play ugly a little bit.
Okay. Okay.
Lean into the.
You're too nice. Like even
Okay.
maybe that's too much, but you know. And it's getting louder, so yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's go from there.
Okay.
articulation, and I think you can get so much more out of it, especially if we look at Primo. Bum, bum, ba, da, 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 bum, 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 ba, da, da, da.
Okay.
Like here, for example.
Yeah.
And I like it that you don't put too much pedal because that allows Kate to actually do all of that. But you can do it, and again, exaggerate because it's eccentric.
Okay.
And Yonatan, you can do even more with your baba, the slurs for the two notes. Yeah.
So bring this
Yeah.
inner voice up.
And then Kate plays against it.
Okay.
And these staccato can be very, very sharp. Exactly, yeah. Because I think that connects for me to the balance between you two in piano duet. Because for me, the hardest is playing piano duet together. Because when you play with a singer, string player or woodwind player, you always wait for the other one. It's either the consonants, it's the way the strings are
Produce
struck, or the reed is blown. But here it's immediate, and it's so difficult to, adjust to that. So I think if you have very varied articulation, it takes care of the balance also.
Yeah. Okay.
I would say.
So go from here into the.
Why don't we try? We can do this again later, but I want to continue a little bit. Like here, for example, when you have the G C, you can give her a little bit of space by playing really. I don't always want to say softer and louder, but like different colors. Think of. So I'm sure. Yeah, those are strings, lower strings, right? This maybe also strings.
Okay.
I don't know. Yeah.
So from here.
Why not? Yeah.
Okay.
So
There you go.
Okay.
yeah.
That was wrong.
I can hear it. Okay.
It'll give
I
you
forgot what was
four
on the
measures.
page.
Okay.
of
Okay.
things,
That's
exactly.
good.
The Secondo has to really come out.
Okay.
Descending line. I think that's very nice. And I also liked that you brought out those.
Yeah, I didn't bring out this one, but.
Oh yeah.
So that was what you bring out.
Exactly. Yeah. So again, I think we're mostly 40 here, I guess, right? But I think you can always, when it's always the same dynamic, you can always retake.
Yeah.
As if you were taking a breath as a woodwind player or something like that, right?
Okay.
So it's not continuously like loud, like whatever dynamic you are, but you can always, but don't, I still have to hear you, of course.
Right.
You can always start a little less.
Okay.
Should we lift together at the end of this?
Yes. I think that's great, yeah.
Okay.
Because if you think about it, then you actually plan for some time. You know,
Yeah.
the breath, and then you start start again. So I think that's a great idea. Yeah.
Okay.
Because what I think is so interesting about this is that it's all these different little sections, and it makes it so it kind of belongs together, but then again it's so like random.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which makes it eccentric again.
Yeah. Okay.
Why is there some? Yeah. Why
There's a
don't you
pickup,
play
yeah.
the pickup?
Okay.
Oh, it's
We'll try one more time.
Yeah.
Let's do it one more time. I'll give you one.
And also, like we're in 2/4, right? So it's odd that it's bum bum ba bum bum ba bum 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 bum. So yeah, think about strange and odd.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
There you
that's
go.
right.
Sorry, I messed up. I messed up. Give us one more try.
Good as
Give
right
me
here.
one more try. The fortissimo, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
We're good.
Sorry to interrupt you, but something I noticed when you played this first, you had your hands on the keyboard. I think you can get a deeper sound if they're actually if they travel there.
Okay.
But it's just
Sure.
one note.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So from
Yeah.
kind of like that.
Exactly. I wouldn't be on the keyboard already. I'll just
Yeah. Kind of just let the weight.
yeah,
Okay.
like
Sure.
a long journey.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just,
Okay.
You didn't do that. I'm just saying.
Right. Okay.
Long travel. And I noticed that your tempo is very different now coming back
Oh.
here in the beginning that we just ended. So I would pick the same
Was it
tempo.
faster or slower?
Slower.
Slower, okay.
Actually, pas trop vite. So I like the tempo you have. It's absolutely perfect. But yeah. So after the slowing down and the broadening, it has to come back to tempo primo.
Okay.
So if you don't mind, is it a good place to start from here? Or is
Yeah.
it-
Yeah.
You can also take a little. I wouldn't stop here. I would ba 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 ba. I would connect it, but immediately tempo
Okay.
primo.
Okay. Yeah,
again. So, that's just an example. But when you have like different things that you need to coordinate, how would you do it like in a piano duet? Because for me, the piano duet is the most precise. You know? You have to be super like together.
I would think of like placing this one, set the second beat, and kind of like looking for your gesture.
Okay.
Like thinking of
Go ahead.
like thinking of going to the second beat, so we go right there. Does that make sense?
I would think of a slightly wider 16th note.
Okay.
D, da, D.
Okay.
So not rushing the 16th.
Yeah, not rushing
Okay.
to be
No, I
really
agree.
rhythmically precise.
Okay.
What do you think it helps maybe to think in a measure rather than to microscopically, like one ta-tum or bum, ba-bum, ba-bum. Maybe then it's more together, I don't know.
Okay.
But I absolutely agree with you saying. So not rushing the 16th and maybe trying like, I'm thinking in a measure.
Okay.
But don't play a triplet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
nice.
Okay.
I like that. Very good.
Something like that. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. One last thing, I think, so after you do the opening, you play the opening, and then when it goes to
Oh yes. This one.
yeah, before the middle part, I think you can have a nice breath. Bum ba ba bum ba ba bum.
Okay.
Yeah, ba ba. Yeah, because it's a very very different section.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Where do you want to start?
Let's just try this once. Yeah,
So you're getting me free. Okay.
Not just a breath, but also a different color. Sorry. I know it says fortissimo, but for me, I think it's I don't know. This is tutti, and this is just a few instruments. So when I play this, I was bothered by these fortissimo indications because I think it needs to have just think less instruments playing in the orchestra. Let's try just one more time.
Yeah.
Say this. Okay, great. Let's hear another movement. Oh, an actual movement.
Yes. Which one do you want to do? Is it the
You want to do waltz?
Sure, yeah. You want to do the gallop?
Yeah. Wow.
Out the waltz?
I don't want. The waltz
Okay.
is too easy.
Fine.
So what do you know about Cancan? How is it danced?
Well, you know, the usual.
Yes, so
I just
the
don't live
little
Yeah,
lady,
yeah,
the
yeah.
legs,
Yeah.
exactly. So where do they usually dance at Cancan? In what kind of establishment?
I'm.
Cabaret?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is that
So the prior French, it's like opera and cabaret, like
Cabaret?
big 19th century traditions.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I associate it with the Moulin Rouge,
Yeah,
also
Moulin
with like
Okay.
a brothel,
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
kind of, you know, so like lower society as they would call it. But here it says high society, Cancan. So
Okay.
Very
think
polite.
More majestic.
yeah, more majestic, but also like he's joking, he's making fun.
Majestic yet satire almost.
Yeah. So
Okay.
So, again, breathing and starting together.
Yeah.
What would you do here? It's.
Oh, actually,
What
really
is
good.
Describe to me what you're actually thinking. So what do we have? We have a 2/4 measure and we have an upbeat of 2/8 notes.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, I could be like 1.
Oh, really? Okay.
I was just kind of
Because
that, but I don't know if
I'm
that's.
thinking 1, 2.
Oh, okay.
Like
That's
I'm
really
thinking the
good.
7 bar before.
So do you think that one person in the duet should conduct, or is it both, or is it depending on the situation?
I think as long as we can both communicate telepathically and feel that bar before, it's like 1, 2. But they.
Yeah, I think if someone like sniffed, if you sniffed on B1,
Yeah.
that would help
Okay.
a lot. Yeah.
Wanna try?
Yeah.
Slow.
Yeah.
I feel like you're running from under me.
Okay.
A little something.
Like dude, pulling the
Yeah, yeah, that's okay. Let's go slower. Okay.
Speaking of tempo, I like how you, how unelegant you play those, because that's how it's supposed to be. Those octaves. I mean it as a stylistic,
Yeah, okay, yeah.
as a characterization. You played very well, but I'm just saying.
Okay.
I think you did it probably because of the character. It's just a little, you know, it's not very graceful, I guess. Is
Yeah.
because these ladies, maybe they're like, you know, they're not, they're
Right.
maybe very heavy.
Right.
So it's usually ladies at that time. Now, you know, you can imagine literally anyone dancing con-con, but maybe he's making fun of them. So,
Yeah, okay.
So, and that holds the tempo back, actually.
Yeah,
So
okay.
maybe he's making fun at them because they're actually not very graceful.
Right,
But he calls
right.
it high society con-con, you know,
Yeah.
so.
Let's do
Yeah.
that.
And you can even bum 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 bum
Yeah.
bum
Okay.
bum,
I'm
and then,
Hungarian dance.
yeah, and then also ba 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 gain speed, but then ba ba bum bum. It's again.
Okay.
So they don't know how to coordinate. They're just not very. I'm assuming it's ladies dancing this. con-con.
Okay. No, you're gonna do it? Okay.
Wait to get
You wanna
that
wait
right.
for it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Do where you wanna start? Where you wanna start? Right, where you wanna start? Do you wanna start here?
And let's work on this.
Okay,
I
right.
have a few things to say.
Yeah.
So, very good. I think in terms of balance, again,
Yeah.
that I keep talking about,
Yeah.
like, for me it's a bit difficult. I think here, Yonatan, you have to play a little less,
Last
because
second.
otherwise,
That's
Kate is
important.
too much in the middle register, and you can bring out your upper voice a little more.
Okay.
Ba-ba. I mean, the harmonies is super interesting. They're very, you know,
Yeah.
almost atonal in a way.
Yeah.
I mean, in the context of things,
Yeah.
of course, but chromatic, not atonal.
Yeah.
But yeah, so, but bring out the upper voice, the chords will come out anyways, but yeah.
Okay.
And here, there's a double bar, so you have the opening,
Maybe some
a
time.
grand, like not ungraceful opening, and then it becomes more lyrical
Okay.
in a way. So,
Mhm.
and
So another breath.
yeah,
Yeah.
I don't want you to stop it too much, but just think in sections. And both of you have legato there, so.
Yeah.
But let's do it again. I think you're good
Okay.
in the beginning, but then in the more lyrical section, just be careful.
Okay.
Okay. Are we doing the retardando or not? Like the little...
Don't do it for now.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
And you're starting together, but then you're not quite together on the second
On the
eighth
second,
note,
yeah.
and then on the downbeat. So just your sniffing helps.
Okay.
So again, same things, balance and also eccentricity.
Yeah. So bring it out more.
Bring it out more,
Yeah.
but also I'd say, especially in this movement, do the same things together, because you both have these surprising moments, right?
Yeah.
In the ritornello, sometimes it's different because you have different articulations, but I feel that you're not quite supporting her in that eccentricity. Like, you are too, you want to play too beautiful.
Thinking about the down, thinking about the down.
You're like, oh.
Yeah, alright.
But the same intention. I mean, of course, you will sound more because you're the upper voice, but same intention.
Yeah.
So good directed from.
Yeah, let me see.
Yeah.
There was just another one. Yeah, so it's these ones, right?
Yeah. And could you get off of this, or off of that faster so I can, yeah, that's perfect.
Okay, and we're doing this staccato.
Let's see if there was something else. So yeah, I like this. Just again at the beginning in terms of ensemble, you started together, but then I think you wanted to
Did I push?
no, you wanted to place the downbeat. But
Okay.
whatever you do, you have to do the same thing at the
Right.
same time, which I think is so hard about piano duo because it's
Yeah.
so everybody
So
does
good.
their a different thing when you play chamber music with other instruments, but here
Yeah.
you have to do the same attack.
Okay.
And it's always more immediate. That's what
Yeah.
I noticed.
Yeah. Okay, at the beginning?
Yes.
Yeah.
One more thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes they all have accents, and sometimes
Yeah.
you play bum bum. Sometimes the second
Yeah.
one comes out,
Okay.
and they should be
Equal.
either equal or even a little more on always the downbeat.
Okay.
Could I suggest
Yeah.
something? Do you want to try to do like a micro lift between each
Yeah,
one?
sure.
That way we're, because I have 8
Sure.
notes
Yeah.
going off.
Your left hand, because you're down. Exactly.
Man, this is hard. So many jumps.
It is really tricky, this one. It is.
You chose it.
I know.
To be fair.
Taking full ownership.
So this sounds brilliant, like you're really playing it well, but
Okay.
you're rushing.
Okay.
And I think it should
Just
remain
Yeah.
steady.
Okay.
Direction, yes, but or it sounds as if one of you is doing it and not the other one, and
Right.
you have to coordinate it not to surprise the other.
Yeah. Okay.
person.
Okay.
Yeah, and then you can come out more here.
Okay.
What are you? Yeah, so
Yeah.
really piano so that. And then this can be softer, but the left hand more. Let's try it one last time. So this was not bad, the upbeat.
Okay.
it can be. I think again, if you think of it longer.
Yeah, it's a
you're
longer
not
phrase.
thinking too much of the details, and then it's more together, I guess.
Okay.
Continuing, and right now bum bum bum, starting again. So I think like dum bum bum. Imagine an imaginary something that's
like
just
string, like
continuing.
pulling you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The phrase with the phrasing.
And I want to be surprised. I mean, maybe you can wait that long, but I need to feel that it's continuing.
Okay.
You want to try one more time?
From the same place, yeah.
Also, it's always B flat, and then suddenly it's B natural.
Like hear it.
Yeah, you put it out really nicely, but it's like even more intense.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
From.
Do you want me to do pick up to here or pick up to?
No,
pick up to here. Okay.
So G8.
Pick up to here. Okay, so pick up to the.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay, just to go.
Yes.
Like that.
And you
okay.
can play da 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 da, like change your finger on the E flat. Or whatever you think makes you play faster. It goes by so quickly, and it's really tricky for no reason.
I know.
You know, so
I know.
it's really not necessary. You can leave out the thumb, but it sounded great the way you did it. But I think I know from personal experience
that
if you play it faster, it can be very tricky.
Okay.
With the octave, but it's up to you. But it's, in this speed, it sounded really great.
Okay.
So this can be really indulging. I think almost like when you're playing a string instrument, like blending So why don't we do that again?
Do I
But
do the-
we'll, you would, in the concert you would repeat this, but why don't we
Right.
just go into the
Okay.
coda?
Okay.
So why don't you go from the beautiful
E-flat?
espressivo?
That's okay.
Also, since you're studying, remember how I talked about articulation in the first one?
Yeah.
Yada yum bada yada bum yada bum. Here.
Yeah.
So this is so
Oh,
odd.
like separate. Feel it separate.
I always, not always, but most of the time, I emphasize the beginning of a slur when
Yeah.
it's a short slur.
Okay.
So this note is the one and which is not emphasized, but here I
Yeah.
think it is yada, and the upbeat is softer. Sorry, the downbeat is softer because the slur goes over. So yada yada. So it's
Okay.
very odd. So the downbeat is de-emphasized and the one and is actually emphasized. So
yeah.
and you do this. Sorry, no, you do it in both ends, but you
No.
do something else. But this again is, I think it's worth being precise.
Yeah.
about
Okay.
the-
Okay.
And you can help her with the pedal with that.
Yeah.
But I think she can do it within the pedal even. Yeah.
I'm trying to keep it light.
Yeah.
Okay.
From there. Yeah.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
good.
I hear what you're saying. Okay.
Very good. And also here, same. You already did it here also, but you just have to be on time. That's
Yeah.
again another da da ya bottom. It's
Yeah.
just
I just keep forgetting. No.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
So, and I think you're taking away the surprise. This is all espressivo, and
It should
don't
really
get louder.
be you.
This is just hitting you in the face. It's just
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
You will lose it.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's some spot where I keep hitting your finger. But I forget where it is. So let's just do it one more time. Let's just do it one more time.
You know,
I'll
when that
remember where it is.
happens, you can also, in a clever way, try to figure out where you just leave out notes where it's already in the harmony when it's not needed. You know,
I think it's this.
things like that.
Maybe. Yeah.
Especially when it goes by so quickly. If you already have the E flat there, then if it really bothers the other player, then you can either choose a different fingering or have your partner play it or just leave it out. Right.
Alright.
So what does it say here? Ralentir et suivre. So what does ralentir is of course getting so suivre, what does that mean?
I don't have it in my mind.
Oh.
That's your responsibility.
That's right.
Not here.
I'm not sure.
I know it's
So
very
follow.
Okay.
So con la voce, if you like. You know.
This is the function.
Yes. So you follow your partner,
Okay.
Secondo, in that case. So you're conducting the slowing down
Okay.
because you have the smaller values, note values, and you're sort of leading with the bass. So yeah, I think while you were leading it here you have to listen to your partner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You wanna go from here?
Sure.
Oh, the tricky one.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Maybe not too much rallentando only because there's still something to play. It's not ended yet.
Okay.
So also, what I would say is when you repeat the first part, maybe don't do too much of the rallentando. Maybe as an eccentric way of telling the audience, no, we're really finished, and then the coda is fast again. So maybe you can do it actually that slow, but
Okay.
you still have to be comfortable
Yeah.
it's not too slow. So let's try it if you want a little like slower, but not too slow. So
Okay.
let's still together.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I thought you had a different rhythm. That's
You're
why
good.
I was listening for something else. Okay.
You're good.
One more time. Thank you.
So what you're gonna listen out for is your bum 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 bum. Yeah. The upbeat in your 3 notes. Bass notes. Why don't we go from here?
Thank you.
So this is something that you have to coordinate. Yum. You have to listen to his yum bum. He has a jump. Yum bum. So this has to land together.
We start right on that measure.
This
Yeah.
last one?
Yeah. Okay, now I hear it. Okay. Could you bring this one out a bit more? Yeah. Okay.
You want to do 4 before?
Sure. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. You did it naturally. Like you sped up at the end. So that's very good.
That was totally purposeful.
Very good. I love it. What you already do very well is bum 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 bum. Yeah, ba 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 ba. Yeah, so always retake like you did.
Yeah.
Like you both did the first one.